Hey everybody, it is Kirsten with Big Daddy's Barbecue. We put out a video a couple weeks ago kind of explaining the situations we're running into with COVID knocking out all of our food supply, but we wanted to get a professional's opinion, and so we brought on Stan. Stan works at Shamrock and has been in the industry for a really long time, and he's going to tell us and you guys today a little bit about what exactly we're seeing in the market and what it has to do with pricing.
Well, pre-COVID, the market demand and the supply were fairly even. You'd see little jumps here and there. When COVID hit, demand fell off dramatically, and there were suppliers out there stuck with a ton of product. Product does not last indefinitely. The perishables went quickly. Other products that people don't think about, pepperoni, salami, those things with high fat content don't freeze well, and you can't store them as long. They dumped millions of pounds. They killed millions of hogs because there wasn't the demand for them. And after a certain point, they won't fit through the machinery, and they don't have millions of people out there hand cutting hogs. So the manufacturers dropped down what they were putting out, and all of a sudden, they're running at 30-40% of pre-COVID numbers, and everybody in the country just opened back up, and now we're at 100 to 110% of demand from pre-COVID numbers. There's just not the product in the supply line to get it out. The wings, we're going to have a problem with for quite a while. When a lot of states decided to open it back up to 100% occupancy in the restaurants, they didn't take into account the logistics and the supply chain. Chicken take about 8 to 12 weeks to raise from eggs to be processed to get out into the food chain, and that put a huge burden on everything out there. So wings are short. Wings have almost doubled in price in the last 4 months anyway. You get the wings are short, that puts pressure on the breasts. The breasts are short, puts pressure on the thigh. Chicken's short, puts pressure on beefs. Beef prices go up. On top of that, you have pork. China just killed off 7 million head of hogs, which is about 200 pounds per head, 1.4 billion pounds of pork out of the market. Breaking that down, that's 940,000 cases of pork ribs that aren't out there right now to be sold. So the pricing's going up. Pork recovery times are a heck of a lot longer than chicken recovery times. We're 8 to 12 weeks on chicken. We're 8 months on pork. So the prices are going to go up, and they're going to maintain that for about the next 10 months.
So, just to kind of sum all that up, everything we've been saying since COVID started as far as menu prices, making sure we're still providing quality for you guys, all of it is completely and utterly out of our control. As you know, we already did some price jumps, and I'm not saying we're going to raise our prices anymore as of right now. However, you are going to start seeing price jumps across the board in the grocery store, at your local mom and pops, maybe at your big chains.
Especially at your big chains.
Yeah.
They understand they have to raise their prices or they won't be in business in a month. It's across the board. It isn't just the barbecue places, it's the Chinese places. It's going to be the sushi places, because when you take up chicken, pork, every other protein is going to follow, because it's going to put more pressure on that. So fish, shrimp, everything out there will be on the rise.
Have you ever seen anything like this in the past?
The biggest inflationary period I've seen in the past was running about a 7% across the board. This is going to top that.
What does that exactly mean?
Everything coming to the restaurant as an average went up 7%, and this was about 10 years ago. We're going to be seeing prices on the proteins 30 to 40% higher in some cases. Some cases, yeah, even a little bit more. Then you take that as an overall and say, okay, some of my dry stuff didn't move, some of the fruits didn't move or didn't move much. You can condense it all down, but I bet we see a 12 to 15% inflationary period this year.
Got you. And how long have you been in the industry? I know I said for a long time, but do you mind giving us a little history there?
23, 24 years.
24 years. So you've seen a lot of fluctuation.
A lot of ups, a lot of downs.
But how do we plan for this?
You really can't. This came out of the blue as a surprise to everybody. The only way you can handle it is to react to it, and hopefully you react quick enough to save your business.
Yeah, I would say adapt. And at the end of the day, it's all about figuring out a way to adapt to what's being thrown at you. Dad, Haas, was a really good friend of yours as well. He was very good about being forward thinking and always trying to find a way to get the product to the customer for an affordable price. And a lot of that has to do with why we actually offer delivery for only $5.99 through our website. That way you're going to get in-store pricing, you're going to only pay that flat fee, and your food's going to come to you, and it's going to be the same exact stuff you could be getting in-house. So I think that's kind of how we've adapted, and we do the best we can to still provide quality without having to just take the prices at an astronomical level. Because believe me, like I told you guys last time, and like Haas said a year ago, it hurts our heart every time we have to raise it because we're just like you. We are the average consumer. We still go out to eat. We go out to restaurants. We see the ways that small mom and pop shops are just getting destroyed, and we've been blessed by you guys to stay open. What can we look forward to in the next 3 or 4 months from your side of things?
On the supply side, again, large manufacturing is like a great big ship. It's not a speedboat. It takes a long time to turn. It takes a long time to get geared back up for the production to match the demand. They're working on it. I've got to have faith that all of these big companies are working on it, trying to get the product back out to us, get it manufactured. When we see that, when we see it normalized, and again, when people get back to work, they have the people to fill the lines in the plants, they have the people to put the stuff on trucks, they have the people to get it delivered, we'll get back to a sense of normalcy. Again, this is months down the road. We're still in a reactionary period, and they don't quite have their legs underneath them yet.
Yeah, and it really, from what I'm hearing, is we're all dependent on each other. Every little thing that we do impacts everyone around us, whether it's the food or the employment or the sickness, driving,
I will,
everything.
I'll agree with that 100%. If you don't have the labor, you don't get the product cut, you don't get it in boxes, you don't have the boxes to put it in, you don't get it on trucks, you don't get it where it needs to go. I can't get it to you, you can't get it to your customer. It's a whole lot of people having to do their job right to make you look good at the end of the day.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's about a whole lot of people coming together, coming back, and getting to work. Thank you, Stan, so much. This has been awesome, and I think that our followers and friends are going to love your explanation about what's going on in the world right now.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.